Oh shit, welcome, man. Oh, you really clicked this video. Oh shit. I'm just surprised, man. You really want to learn Virtua Fighter? Every time I try to get somebody to play this game, they always like Virtua Fighter. That old ass nigga game. What's up? It's your boy GGMG, and I'm here to teach you VF today. With the latest edition of Virtua Fighter 5 REVO World Stage being released, now's the best time to ever get in the game. If you ignore the fact that this game came out in 2006 and it's currently on the 6th version. I love this game, but I'm gonna keep it real with y'all always. TikTok fraud all of our attention span, so I got like 20-30 minutes max to show you that you can play this game easily before you nope the fuck out. To be honest, it might be even shorter than that. So let's get it synopsis style, 5 W's before we start. Who? It's just me and you. I've been waiting. Think I'm finna make the move. What? There's already tons and tons of information on how to get good at VF. My only aim is to arrange it all into a logical roadmap to build your fundamentals to intermediate brick by brick. I want to see more people play VF. I got the inspiration from watching Toko's Guilty Gear Strive video. Shout out Toko, bro, you're a real one. When? Where? Now on YouTube, duh. Why? This is the most important one. Why should you play VF? No, it's not because your favorite game sucks right now. I'm not trying to hear that shit. This game gives you the ability to express yourself to your opponent in ways no other game on the market can right now. With the variables in place for every interaction, neither player never has full control over the match. You have to be locked in at every moment because you're always one decision big or small away from winning or losing. The meta of this game is super easy to get into, but the skill ceiling is super high for anyone that wants to chase it. This path that we're going to walk down is what I like to call the path to Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva is an individual on the path to becoming a Buddha and seeking awakeness. It's also a prestigious title that can be earned in Virtua Fighter. Getting it takes time and dedication. How do you get this amazing title, you might ask? Shit, just lose 2,000 matches. No. Don't wait. Don't leave, bro. Don't leave, not yet, bro. Alright, this is the last disclaimer I'm gonna give before we dive headfirst into the abyss. This is an old ass game. The beginner to intermediate cliff in this game is extremely steep. This game at the time of recording probably cracks around 300 people on the average day. Not that I give a fuck about stream charts, but I'm just trying to tell you, as soon as you hop online, you're gonna go from the beginners to like people that have been playing this game for like 10 years really quick. Winning games is not the goal of this guide. Learning how to win and read interactions is. We're going to lose a fucking lot. I need you to be locked in and follow my every direction. Any deviation from my training will only lead to frustration and self-inflicted limitations like, oh, this ain't for me. Oh, the movement stuff. For the ambitious, if you're ready, it's time to take your first step on your path to Bodhisattva. Welcome to the path of Bodhisattva. Hey, you made it, real one. All right, let's get right to it, man. Numpad notation. It's the old phone layout. 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, 4, 5, 6 above that, 7, 8, 9 at the top. Simple. Each number designates which direction you're going to press. Using these numbers is how we distinguish moves from one another. I'm like hieroglyphics, gotta dissect the whole picture. I could win the Olympics, way I'm flipping these little digits. This is very important, remember this. Alright, boom, time to pick a character to walk down this path with. Look on the roster, look who calls out to you. Who do you think matches you well? Please pick anyone. Just know, if you choose Shun, Vanessa, or Lei Fei, these guys have unconventional movesets but are still viable for this training regimen. But be forewarned, the path of these three are very different. I'm not teaching you guys how to play these characters, I'm solely focusing on fundamentals, which can be applied to any character. After you pick your character, feel free to go ahead and go over to the customization suite and make some costumes. Outside a few characters, I feel the defaults are kind of boring in mid, so feel free to go wild and make a character of your own. Once you got some new threads, head over to training mode so we can get started. Welcome to training mode. Get very comfortable being here. For stage 1, we'll be focusing on understanding the game and its core mechanics. Lucky for us, it's honestly not that much. Virtua Fighter is a 3D game where you beat the shit out of your opponent in 45-second rounds, no meters, no supers. However, besides KO and timeout, your opponent can win via ring out on half fence stages, low fence stages, and open stages. Full stages changes to open stages round by round. Some walls are even breakable if you hit your opponent into the wall once the round ends. So navigating the stage is something you always have to keep in mind. So first, we'll focus on movement. To move forward, you'll just hold 6. To move back, you'll just hold 4. To dash forward, you'll tap 6 twice. And to back dash, you'll tap 4 twice. You can also crouch dash forward and backwards. To do so, you'll tap 3 twice to crouch dash forward, and then you'll tap 1 twice to crouch dash backwards. You can also move in the background by tapping 8 or tapping 2. Okay, so first movement technique I'm teaching is guard canceling. Guard canceling is a very important part of the game, so I figured I'll knock it out first. We have 3 buttons in this game: punch, kick, and guard. For now, we're just gonna focus on guard because this button is everything in this game. Guard is obviously used to guard, which is very important, but this button is also used to cancel actions and frames. For my new people getting into fighting games, just know that canceling frames helps you do things faster. To guard cancel our forward movement, just dash forward and press guard. Same with crouch dash forward. With the power of guard canceling, we can cancel our forward and crouch dash forward animations quickly to guard again. Also, you can do the same with walk. However, you cannot do this with backwards movement. You can only cancel backwards movement with attacks or other movements. VF is a game designed to be fought in close quarters. When you move forward, you're granted options for defense, but when you move backwards, you risk being vulnerable. For my Tekken players, if there's any in the crowd, do not spam backdash. Everyone has one move that is designed to drop you on your ass if they catch you backdashing. For example, don't do that shit over here, bro. It's going to get you killed. If you want to play defense, you should be moving forward, not backwards. Moving backwards is only good if you have a read to create a whiff. Doing so involuntary is going to get you killed. Now that you know how to approach your opponent safely, what do you do if you want to disengage? This is where the next movement technique comes into place, the box step. The box step allows you to cover and make space quicker and faster. To do so, you'll forward dash and then input up or down, or what most people in the community call evades. I didn't want to throw too many terms at you at first, but just know moving into the background, the foreground is called evading. Repeating these motions quickly will help create space or shorten it. To do a box step, you'll forward dash and evade like this. You can also do it backwards. Let's say your opponent has it back to the wall and you want to play it safe because you don't want to get wrung out with a full bar of health. You can do the box step backwards so your opponent can earn their comeback instead of letting them ring you out by some sneaky way, which there are tons of sneaky ways to win via regal in this game. Trust me, I know. To review, to dash forward, you'll tap 6 twice. To back dash, you'll tap 4 twice. For crouch dashing forward, tap 3 twice. To crouch dash backwards, you'll tap 1 twice. You can guard moving forward, which means forward dash, guard, crouch dash, guard. But you cannot do the same backwards, so you have to be careful. You can use the box up when you want to close distance between your opponent or create distance. Practice these techniques for about 5 to 10 minutes just so you can get the hang down. A lot of people complain about VFs, say that the movement is really stiff, but they don't take the opportunity to learn the actual movement of the game and how to actually move around. If you know how to move around like this, the game becomes a lot easier for you. All right, see you in the next step when I teach you how to play offense. Virtua Fighter can be summed up at its core by its triangle system for attacks. Strike beat throws, throws beat guard, and guard beat strikes. This triangle should be the main focus of your game plan always. In this game, you'll constantly be switching which side of the triangle you're using many times in one round. Committing to one side for too long can make you lose in one interaction. The concept behind your thought process is simple. If your opponent is pressing hella buttons, guard. If your opponent is committing to throwing you, press buttons. If your opponent is just standing there with his hands up, throw his ass into next week. Do not think about this too much. Just counter what you see. There's no time to confirm and think about options. You just have to do, and that takes time and practice. Now moving on to our 3 buttons, because after all, this is a fighting game and you need to attack your opponent to win, right? In Virtua Fighter, we have 3 buttons: punch, kick, and guard. Punch is usually assigned to square, kick to triangle, and X to guard. Pressing the punch or kick with a directional input will change the moves that you perform. Also using combinations such as P plus K, K plus G, P plus G, and P plus K plus G will grant you access to even more moves. If you want to assign combinations to a single button on your controller, feel free to do so. Pop quiz, motherfucker. If I tell you to press P, what you gonna do? Okay, what about 6P? What about 2P? Alright, and PG. Oh shit, look, I just gave you the game plan. From this point moving forward, you will only be using these moves until I tell you otherwise. This game is lightning fast, and the plan is to build your reflexes from the ground up. Hesitation in this game will get you killed, which is why I can't have you suffer for choice paralysis. For Vanessa players, she has two stances she fight in: defensive and offensive. For this training regimen, you'll only use offensive stance. Every round by default, she starts in defensive stance. You can switch stances by pressing PKG, and it can be done before the round starts. These four options in neutral everyone in the game can do, and the purpose for all of them are easy to understand. P is the fastest strike for every character. It's very good for starting your offense and starting pressure. However, it's a high strike that can be countered by crouching or using attacks that are EX lows. What the fuck is a high and the EX low? Slow down, I got you. High attacks are attacks that can be guarded standing or avoided by crouching. By the way, I haven't told you yet, but you can crouch by holding guard and pressing down, or 2G. Low attacks are attacks that has to be crouched while guarding. Special lows or EX lows are attacks that are invulnerable to highs and can be guarded standing or crouching. Mids are attacks that you have to be standing while guarding. There are more special property attacks, but we don't need to know them right now. 2P is the fastest EX low in the game. Little punch straight to the groin area. Since it's an EX low, that means it's invulnerable to highs, aka P. This move right here is used to counter P or interrupt offense. 6P is your fastest mid in the game. You use 6P to establish your offense and keep opponents in check from spamming 2P. Most characters 6P is the elbow class move. A few characters in this game have different moves that function as their elbow. I have a document guide in the description box that outline which moves those characters will use. You'll consult this document from time to time. PG is a throw, the fastest attack in the game. Whenever your opponent is guarding, you can throw, but you cannot throw if your opponent is attacking per the triangle. There are three types of throws everyone should be using: a forward throw, a back throw, and a neutral throw. Neutral throw is just PG. Go to your command list and go to throws. If the last input before pressing PG is 6, then it's a forward throw. If the last input is a 4, then it's a back throw. Find the forward and back throw for your character that does damage. Some characters have plenty, some characters have a few. Alright, so boom, I showed you how to move around the stage and keep awareness of where you're at. I taught you the fundamental process behind interacting with your opponent, and I gave you a bare bones offensive game plan to engage your opponent with. It's time to play the game. Luckily for us, REVO got updated with a single player mode called World Tour. It simulates the environment of being in an arcade, kinda, sort of, not really. You kinda get the point. World Tour is where we hone our skills and build our fundamentals. Don't worry, we're not going online just yet. Just go ahead and start World Tour. Then go to difficulty and set it to hard. The goal is still to learn how to win interactions, not matches. The things I want you to focus on are moving around the stage and guard canceling, using the triangle with your opponent, and getting used to our offensive game plan. I want you to complete 10 matches on World Stage, and then come back to training mode for Stage 1C. I'll be here when you get back. Okay, so now that we're more familiar with the flow of the game, we can dive a little deeper to how we structure our offense. I gave you the moves and the purpose for all the moves, but it's not as simple as press the button at the right time at the right place. It's time to talk about neutral. For my first time fighting game players here, neutral is the state of the game where neither player on the screen has advantage. Having advantage means you can simply act first after a move is hit or blocked, while being at disadvantage means you have to wait before you can attack again. Another way you can express this is saying that the move is plus when having advantage on hit or block, and minus when the move has disadvantage on hit or block. In the 2D world, it's easy to understand this concept, but unfortunately it doesn't translate the same in VF, which is why I want to add context to our offense. So let's go over our game plan again. P when hit or block is plus, which means you have advantage after using P. 2P is plus when hit, but negative or have disadvantage on block. 6P or your elbow class equivalent varies on hit, but always negative on block. The average 6P is neutral on hit, but some characters have advantage or disadvantage. Consult my document once more to review the outliers. If you try to attack while being at disadvantage, you run the risk of being counter hit. Counter hits usually have a big reward in this game, such as combos or high damage, extra damage on attacks, or even guaranteed follow-ups. Using attacks that cannot be interrupted when at advantage is what the FGC calls a frame trap. Let's go ahead and learn your first one. The most basic frame trap you can do in VF is P to 6P, or your elbow equivalent move. It's simple and easy. Don't worry about how's the frame trap right now, just trust me gang, I promise it's good. But one thing, in order to do this consistently, you have to guard cancel. I hope you train how to do so in stage 1 because this is far from the last time you had to do this. I wasn't lying when I said G cancel is everything in this game. You might be asking right now, why do we need to guard cancel after pressing P? Everyone has additional attacks that can be used after you press P. I'm pretty sure you already did a few of them by accident, you cheated motherfucker, but it's okay, it was part of my plan. In order to consistently do P6P or your elbow move, you'll have to press P, quickly tap G, and then input 6P. It feels weird at first, so let's practice this slowly in training mode. Go to CPU settings to set the CPU to guard and counter attack 2. Then practice doing the P6P/elbow frame trap like this for 5 minutes. If you deploy this frame trap successfully and your opponent tries to attack you, you'll be granted a counter hit. I want you to pay close attention to how your opponent reacts on block, hit, and counter hits. The game has visual and audio cues for each of these states. When your attack is blocked, there's no sparks and you hear this sound. When your attack lands as a normal hit, you see this yellowish spark and you hear this sound. And when you get that glorious counter hit, you'll see a red spark and you'll hear this sound. To practice recognizing this, go to CPU settings in training mode and select guard or normal hit. Guard is pretty easy to recognize, so once you can react between the two, change the CPU settings to normal or counter hit. Learning how to see the difference between normal and counter hit is important for realizing when you can continue your offense. When you do get that counter hit, it is extremely important that you choose to attack or throw. Trust me right now, just know that on counter hit, you are really plus, so you can either attack or throw. Don't worry about why, just practice seeing that red spark and immediately choose it to strike or throw. You can do the same frame trap with P2P, but you gotta use it with caution because there's a lot of ways to beat 2P in this game. I want you to think about flowcharting your attacks 2 at a time. For P, you can do P6P, and if 6P lands as a counter hit, you can loop it again. You can also do PP if you want to keep advantage, and P throw if you think your opponent is gonna respect you and guard. You can focus on using P if you want to, but you got to remember 2P is a direct counter to P alongside ducking. You can spam 2P as much as you want, but when 2P is blocked, 6P is the answer. You could chain your attacks with 2P and 6P the same way, but remember, if your 2P or 6P is blocked, you're at risk of being countered if you continue your offense. You can also attack and guard to see what your opponent has up their sleeve. Just don't guard for too long. This game is a conversation, and your opportunity to say something will pass if you wait too long. Intermediate tech incoming, intermediate tech incoming. Some characters have throws while crouching. In your throw list, if there's a red arrow for the 2 command, then there's a grab afterwards, you can use it while crouching. You can also access that while crouching throw after using your 2P due to your character still being in the crouch state after 2P. Big disclaimer, as a Jeff main, from here on out, all Jeff mains will eat at the table before anyone else. My guide, my rules. For all my Jeff mains, feel free to spam 2P into 6PG. If you get the grab while crouching, you get to do the glorious splash mountain and all of its 80 damage. Remember, you can't do this if your opponent is pressing buttons, but if you catch him guarding, feel free to use this. For the rest of you motherfuckers, if you look in your throw list, you can look to see if you have wild crouching throw moves. I guess now would be a good time to let y'all know that all of you don't have the same tools inside your kit. I kinda lied. Some of y'all have better tools than others. Let's go over them. Eileen, Kage, Lion, and Pi mains, step to the front of the congregation, please. Just wanna let y'all know. Congratulations. Your P jab is 1 frame faster than everyone else. What does that mean for you? You don't have to respect the P6P frame trap. Since your jab is 1 frame faster, you can press P if you think your opponent is trying to use this frame trap. Be careful not to get counter hit by 2P though. Yes, different characters get different privileges with this basic offensive game plan. And unfortunately, I gotta point out one more for right now. Shun, Lei warriors, please come to the front. God gave his toughest bouts to some of his strongest soldiers. Congratulations. Both of your elbow class moves are 1 frame slower than everyone else's. I'm sorry. Everyone else can P or 2P out of your P6P frame trap, or for Lei P3K. I recommend leaning more towards P throw or P2P, but those mix-ups are risky. Moving on. Hey, don't look at me. I told you at the beginning that the path is different. Go rewind it. With this new information, I want you to go back to World Stage mode and focus on frame trapping your opponent with P6P. Also, I want you to practice confirming your counter hits and following them up with strikes or throws. 10 more games, please. Practice is important. Side note, I want to remind you that you should be taking your time going through this guide and making sure you fully understand the concepts. This isn't to be rushed. If you can fully understand everything I taught you in stage 1, that means we're already halfway done. Do you understand how to move and approach your opponent safely with forward dash, G cancel, and box step? Do you understand the triangle and when to choose options and switch? And finally, do you understand the basic frame trap of P6P and how to counter hit confirm? If you do, go on to stage 2. If you don't, nigga, go back. Stop rushing. Alright, so now that you know how to play offense, it's only right you learn how to play defense. So up to this point, what's your main complaint about your AI opponents in World Stage mode? These motherfuckers break every single throw you try to attempt. They move to the side or evade every time you try to attack. Every time you think about guarding, you get thrown. Every time you try to press a button and disadvantage, you get counter hit. This stage will fix all of that and more. This first technique will help you when you find yourself negative. So our basic frame trap in stage 1 was P6P, right? What happens when our opponent blocks our frame trap? Do we just block or try to attack again? We actually have another option. Crouch dash cancel. Remember, back in stage 1, I told you that you're afforded more options when you move forward versus backwards. With crouch dash cancel, you can avoid potential highs and throws and block mids at the same time when 6P is blocked. It can also be done with P, but you have advantages, so why pass up the opportunity to force your opponent into a mix-up or a situation where your opponent has to choose between you doing one thing or another. That's why I recommend you use attacks in 2. During the last stage with 2P, we saw that we are left crouching afterwards. So trying to throw after blocking immediately whiffs and holding neutral guard blocks mids. So that makes the technique not as viable with 2P and P versus how to use it with 6P. Let's go into training mode and set the CPU to guard and counter attack 5. With the CPU doing 6P or a throw. Hit your opponent with a 6P, then input 3-3G immediately afterwards. Practice this process on both sides until you can do 5 on both. This is something you should practice often. Brad mains, what's up? Brad has a unique duck and slip stance that can be accessed after using 6P. That can create issues when you're trying to use crouch dash cancel. For you specifically, you'll have to use guard cancel after 6P. In order to do so, you'll input 6P, press guard really quick, then use 3-3G. I told y'all G cancel was everything in this game. Jeff mains, pay close attention. If you can confirm that you ducked the throw when doing the crouch dash after 6P, ball means instead of pressing guard, press 6PG so you can do a splash mountain. Since you're crouch dashing, you're technically in crouch, which means you have access to one of your biggest moves in the game. Stay dangerous. And for everyone else, just know that while doing the crouch dash, you can do while crouching attacks and while crouching throws. So now that we see the upsides for this technique, it's only right that we gotta talk about the downsides. May I have Owie, L-Blaze, Go, Jeffrey, Pi, Taka, and Wolf mains to the front of the congregation, please. Technically, Vanessa should be up here too, but the answer to this technique, she can't do an offensive stance, only a defensive stance, which means she can't do it during this training process. So I guess she can stand up at her seat, but she can't come up here, not right now. Deacon, please watch her. Everyone currently at the front. Congratulations, you can punish crouch dash cancel with crouch throws. I waited until now to let you know about this, but you can perform crouch throws with 1, 2, or 3 PG. In training mode, record the CPU doing 6P crouch dash guard. After you block 6P, use 1, 2, or 3 PG to throw your opponent. Play around with these throws, but be careful. Your opponent can always make 6P crouch dash cancel with 6P any other attack, so don't get too eager. Everyone go back to your seats. Except for you, Wolf, I'd like for you to stay up here right now. There's something I'd like the congregation to know. Wolf here is very special in terms of grabs. Congratulations, Wolf. Your 4PG and 6PG throws are 1 frame faster than every other throw in the game. You might be asking, why is that a good thing? Because he can straight up throw you with those 2 throws if he catches you trying to crouch dash guard. However, Wolf Warriors, this only works when the 9 characters currently on the screen. The rest of the cast conduct your non-frame throws. Section 3, I will explain more, so right now you have to take my word for it. Y'all don't believe me? Shit, you don't believe me? Set up the CPU crouch dash cancel drill again with Wolf. Set the throw direction to forward or back and try to crouch dash under his throws. It won't work. Wolf mains, feel free to use that knowledge to your advantage, but be careful not to spam throws because what beat throws? Strikes. Fundies, baby. Alright, second technique we are learning is very simple. Let's say your 2P or 6P is blocked, but you don't want to crouch dash guard cancel and you know your opponent is going to strike back. You can evade the attack using 2 or 8. If you do the evade on the right timing, your character will completely slide to the side of your opponent with a loud sound to let you know that you did it right. If you did it on wrong timing, you won't hear the sound and you will be left completely open to an attack. Attacks and throws completely change for the better once you're on the side of your opponent, so don't hesitate to continue your offense when evading an attack. However, be very careful. If you evade your opponent's attacks and try to continue your offense too soon, you could get hit by a string, aka multiple attacks that happen in succession. So sometimes you have to do 2 evades in a row or 3 evades in a row. It all depends on your opponent. There are 2 things that directly punish evades in this game: throws and circulars. We already know about throws and what beats throws, so let's move on to circulars. Circulars are attacks that are specifically designed to hit an opponent when they evade to a certain side. There are 2 types of circulars: half and full. Half means the attack only covers one side of the character, while full covers both. You might have noticed by now that your player stance changes constantly throughout battle. When the match starts, you see the front of your character, but sometimes you see the back of your character. Knowing which moves counter movement towards the front and back of your character is crucial, along with seeing which position your character is in. Everyone go to the description box and go back to the document for chapter 2. Congratulations everyone. Everyone got new moves to use in your toolkit. Everyone should have 3 circulars to use to cover your front side, your back side, or both. The circulars in terms of speed and move type vary among all characters. In cure mains, you might be asking where's your full circular at? Good question, you have none. Next question. Feel free to use these moves in neutral, especially when you get a counter hit. Using circulars while plus covers your opponent mashing and trying to evade your follow-up. You want to know something? Nah, I don't know if y'all ready yet. Man, fuck it. Most of y'all characters have guaranteed follow-ups if you use half circulars while your opponent is evading. You can confirm with a counter hit and use the follow-up. If you don't have a follow-up, your character probably knocks down the opponent, or the opponent usually becomes side turn and your plus is fucked. Only use the follow-up if you can confirm the counter hit. Lots of options will leave you really negative if you just spam it. In training mode, set the CPU action to defensive mode 1 or 2 and practice using your circulars. You really want to get to a point where you don't have to think about which side goes with which circular. Knowing which circular covers which side makes you faster. Okay, you know the drill. Go to World Stage and psych! It's time. It's time. Hop online and play 10 real matches against real human beings. The AI on World Stage can reflect the skill of a human, but it cannot reflect the emotion that a human has, and to be frank, it cheats a lot. So we will use it no more. Remember your teachings. Be wary of your surroundings during battle. Always think of the triangle while fighting and be ready to adapt. Also, don't be surprised if your opponent doesn't adapt. If spamming 2P wins the match, then damn it, spam 2P. Whatever weakness your opponent shows, expose it, and don't change until they change. If you receive hate mail, savor it. You force your opponent to submission, and the only solution they can find is to blame you for their self-imposed limitations. Use the frame trap I taught you and remember when you're at advantage and disadvantage. Use crouch dash cancel and evades to be untouchable. Remember, the goal is still to win interactions. The more you win interactions, the more naturally you win matches. Good luck. Oh yeah, before you go, a few things. Go to game settings and enable crossplay. I don't know for the life of me why this game doesn't have this enabled on default, especially with our low player base. Also set delay to 3 just in case you get a matches over 100 ping. Make sure you have the Ethernet cord plugged in as well. No Wi-Fi warriors are welcome over here. If ranked is a ghost town, feel free to hop in the lobby or make your own. You can rank up in lobby match up to rank 21. Feel free to share this video with a friend and play together. I'm not saying that as a shitty promotion tactic. I just want you to play someone that's not AI. Get your matches in and come back for the next stage. How's the matches online? Did you win one? Nigga, did I catch you caring about winning? Moving on. I hope you won a lot of interactions or was able to control the tempo of the match. We're almost at the end. Just 2 more techniques, then I really let y'all do some damage. It's time to teach y'all how to escape throws. As a reminder, if you know the throw is coming, striker will always win no matter what. But what if you're at disadvantage and you want to play it safe and guard? Then you can also go for a throw escape. Lazy throw escape. The lazy throw escape is super simple. How do you do this? Just hold guard, then hold the direction of the throw you're trying to break, then hold P. Throws are broken with neutral PG, 6 PG, or 4 PG. This is why you should be cycling between 3 throws when playing VF. Reminder, if your throw commands end with a 6, it's a forward throw. If it ends with a 4, It's a back throw. PG with no direction is neutral PG. You can also break cross throws with 1 PG, 2 PG, or 3 PG. And off the off chance you go against somebody online that knows how to pick you up off the ground and slam you to the wall or slam you off stage, you can hold 2 PG to break that throw as well. Every time you guard in this game, you need to be holding P as well as a direction to ensure that you have a 33% chance of breaking the throw. How to guess which direction your opponent is going for is open theory, not gonna lie. There's a lot of variables where you're at on stage, if there's a wall nearby or a ring out, all of those things greatly impact on what throws are gonna be used. For example, take Jeffrey. His most powerful throw standing is 4-1-2-3-6 PG, which is a forward throw. Common sense would tell you, hey, just LTE forward every time you want to break a throw. Now let's put Jeffrey back to the wall, or a ring out, and introduce the scenario again. Do you choose to A, hold forward to break his 4-1-2-3-6 PG throw, or hold back so he can break his 4-4 PG throw that tosses his opponent behind him and guarantee the 3K, resulting in a ring out or a stagger out the wall for a potential combo? Oh yeah, when attacks hit out the wall, sometimes there's an opportunity for a follow-up when you see the green and red joystick on the screen. Don't worry too much about that. It's called stagger. Don't worry too much about it right now. I just want to let you know just in case. Most characters have these mind games when it comes to their throws. There's never a clear answer. Sometimes you just gotta pick your poison. Or maybe you're playing this Jeff and your back is against the ring out and your opponent is LTEing back. Sounds like you got a free splash mountain, baby. Mind games. Remember, you can LTE anytime you guard, so do it while in disadvantage. You can even do it after a crouch dash cancel, so really practice this. Hop in training mode, set the CPU to guard a counter attack 4. Set the throw direction to be neutral 4 or 6. Do 6P then practice LTEing. Remember when I said throws beat evade? I kinda lied, sort of. What if I told you after evading you can input a throw command to break your opponent's throw? This technique is super useful when you're really negative. Up to this point in disadvantage, I taught you to either guard, press buttons, crouch dash cancel, evade, and throw escape. Now we're combining the last two together. The positive is that you could possibly evade an attack and potentially break a throw in the same interaction. The downside is if your opponent throws out circular, you get hit in the head. Or if you choose the wrong throw break direction, you're still getting thrown. Set the CPU to guard and counter attack 5 with a throw direction in neutral 4 or 6. I want you to do a 6P, then evade and input the throw the direction you chose. You can also practice LTEing and crouch dash canceling all at the same time. Once you get the hang of this, head back into the online training grounds and play 10 more games focusing on breaking throws. Then meet me at stage 3 for your final lesson.
Read, nigga, read!
Stage 3 for the most part would be a review of everything we learned from a different perspective. I taught you how some things work and told you just to trust me on it. Now I will introduce these rules again with numbers next to them, or what most people call frame data. For my people new to fighting games, frame data is the law of the land detailing who can do what and is super simple to understand. What are frames? Long story short, it's the numerical value of time in a fighting game. Most fighting games are 60 frames per second, yada yada yada. Just know that frame data dictates how fast or slow a move is and how much advantage or disadvantage a move can have on hit on block. Let's look at our offensive game plan one last time with frame data. P is the fastest strike in everyone's toolkit. We already know that. Most characters P have a 12 frame startup in this game. But remember, Eileen, Kage, Lion, and Pai means your P is 1 frame faster at 11 frames. For everyone, P is +2 on block, which means you have 2 extra frames of advantage to attack with. For 6P or an elbow class equivalent move, for most characters, they have a 14 frame startup. Now let's look at our P6P frame trap again. We first use P, which is +2 on block. Then we use 6P, which is 14 frames minus the 2 frames from our advantage from our P being blocked, essentially turning our 14 frame move into a 12 frame move. But remember, Shun and Lei Fei means your elbow is slower at 15 frames. This is why the frame trap doesn't work as well for you two. This is how we use frame data in fighting games. Okay, it's time to look at the other side. Let's say we do P6P and our opponent blocks it. If you press another button, your fastest attack will come out slower. Our disadvantage from 6P being blocked makes the startup of other potential moves slower. Everyone's elbow has disadvantage, but the numbers vary. Also, they vary for normal and counter hit too. For the elbow class moves, Aoi, Eileen, Go, John, Kage, Lao, Pai, Vanessa, and Wolf, their elbows are -4 on block. These characters can also crouch dash any throw from Wolf, even his non-frame throws. The rest of the cast cannot crouch dash Wolf's non-frame throw, so they had to keep that in mind when you use a crouch dash cancel since their 6P is -5 on block. If you want to know more about a character's frame data, the information is readily available in-game. In training mode, go to display settings, then change information display to detailed stats. In Virtua Fighter, or any fighting game for that matter, the frame data displays the pendulum that happens in neutral. In the center, you will find 0, and that's where neutral resides. The more negative you are, the less options you have to play defense and mitigate damage, while the more plus you are, the more you can restrict your opponent from playing defense while you're on offense. Think of 0 as a mirror between offense and defense. We're going to focus on 3 regions on the negative side: -1 to -5, -10 and greater, and -6 between -9. -1 to -5 is a very important zone while you're negative. Up to -5 in disadvantage, you can use the crouch dash cancel technique, which is why I taught you to do so with the elbow. There are many moves in everyone's toolkit that is -5 or less. While you can't spam elbow or 2P or other moves in this nature, you have the option to evade throws and block mids in the same technique. But remember, some characters have crouch throws to punish you, and Wolf can straight up throw you because why? His 4PG and 6PG is 1 frame faster than all throws in this game. Your opponent can also use slower mids that have advantage with block or other powerful lows to catch you while you're stand guarding. From -1 to -5, you're in disadvantage, but you still have a lot of flexibility in terms of defense. -10 and more. -10 is the start of the guaranteed punish zone in Virtua Fighter. Throws are the fastest attack in the game at 10 frames. If you're at -10 and above, you cannot use strikes to beat throws at all. However, you can't LTE, which is smart because -10 only guarantees a throw attempt. If you choose the right direction to LTE, you can get away with being negative. But remember, Wolf got non-frame throws, so he can enforce this at -9. The higher the number climbs for disadvantage, the more guaranteed options your opponent has to punish you if they know the game. -11 to -15 usually has small punishes guaranteed, while -16 and above usually guaranteed combos. I want us now to go to replay mode. I want you to choose one of your matches, any one is good. I want you to change the speed to 0.5, and I want you to cut on all the information in the pause menu. The frame data for you and your opponent should be in the left and right bottom corner. I want you to see how many times your opponent used the move that you could have punished. Feel free to test out the replay function. In my opinion, it's the best in all fighting games right now. The reason why I gave you guys a bare bones, low risk, low reward moveset was to prevent you from playing an extremely risky game plan early on. Using high risk, high reward moves work when they do, but when they don't, you die quick, you learn nothing, then you go play something else. But now, you know how to play the game fundamentally sound up to this point. You fully understand the risk, and with that, everyone gets 3 more moves for this stage. Everyone gets a low risk move that keeps you at -1 to -5, a high risk, high reward move that can be punished but grants big damage with a combo, and a medium risk move to use while in Itaku. Oh shit, I forgot. -6 to -9. The magic of Virtua Fighter is in between these 2 numbers right here. Games are won and lost in this range constantly. Most of the time when you get counter hit in this game, you're in Itaku. Itaku translates from Japanese meaning having 2 choices. In this range, both players have to wonder about the same thing. Is the person with advantage going to go for a strike or throw? To explain, once you hit -6 in disadvantage, crouch dash cancel is no longer a viable option. By the way, since Wolf has 2 non-frame throws, this can apply to him at -5. Without the option to safely duck the throw and block the mid, the opponent in disadvantage has to commit to beating the strike or throw. Let's look at Nitaku now from advantage and disadvantage. If you enter Nitaku with advantage, you can use any attack you want or throw. What attack should you use? You can use attacks that grant you more advantage, attacks that lead to combos, even circular should track evades. If you enter Nitaku with disadvantage, there's still a lot of things you can do. As a defender in the scenario, you can play it safe and block the attack and do LTE for the throw escape, or if you know the throw is coming, you can just throw out a launcher. You can use 2P or any other EX levels that are invulnerable to highs. You can evade the attack if it's not a circular. You can evade throw escape just in case the throw comes. The -6 to -9 range is all reads and gambles. There's no way to guarantee anything in this range, and you're in Itaku many times in one game. In Virtua Fighter, a barrier is a term for when you mash while in a disadvantaged state. You know what they say, you only minus for your bitch. Let me paint the picture for you. Your opponent puts you in Itaku, then they try to go for a throw with their plus frames. Nothing says fuck you to your opponent more than putting a launcher in their face for even thinking they could try to throw you. Imagine if they lose a round or one game off of that one interaction. This game between these two numbers is mental warfare, and now you have the knowledge to fully participate. Take a look at my document one last time. Go to section 3. There'll be 3 moves with notes on how to use them. If there are combos that can be done on counter hit or launch, they are there. For the ambitious, if you want better combos, seek Ancient Scrolls over at virtuafighter.com or try to find different combos on YouTube. Now go, my friend, hit rank one last time, 10 games. Feel free to use these 3 new moves whenever. Every time you get a counter hit, use one of these 3 new moves at your disposal. If you want to play it safe, use the low and medium risk moves. If you want to put all the chips on the table, by all means, use the high risk, high reward moves. Keep in mind, if your opponent doesn't punish you for using these high risk, high reward moves, by all means spam them, but know a good opponent will make you hurt for doing them. Every time your opponent goes for a throw is a chance to participate in psychological warfare. Scared money makes no money, but slow and steady does win the race sometimes. How will you decide to play VF? The personality you choose to become is your choice and yours alone. There's no one way to play this game. I can't wait to see what you choose. You did it. Congratulations. You have passed the trials before and now you're part of the Virtua Fighter community. Congratulations. You can choose to walk away if you feel like this isn't your cup of tea. The knowledge you have gained here would definitely help in other fighting games. My goal wasn't to convince you to drop your favorite fighting game. It was to show you that with a concise and measured approach, you can learn any fighting game if you have the right mentality. For all of my people who are continuing on their path of getting that Bodhisattva badge, just know that I taught you how to play the game fundamentally. But now, it's time to actually learn your character's win condition and how to maximize it. If you like your character, great. If not, don't hesitate to swap. You already learned the fundy, so all you gotta do is learn the character. I'm already over my time, so I bring parts and gifts. If you want a brief look into a character and the game plan, in the description box I'll leave a link to Miyavi and Ngos' YouTube channel. This channel has in-depth guides to all the characters in the game. Some of the data is outdated due to recent updates, so I'll leave patch notes in the description box. My advice to you is to add one thing at a time. Learn one move, add it to your toolkit, maximize efficiency, then learn another, and another, then another. I bring one more gift from a friend. My friend Habit from Poland made an extensive resource guide that is in the description box. If my explanation for topics didn't make sense, I'm sure there's a video from a pro that can help you gain clarity. You have the knowledge to participate with the community now. You can watch other people play and understand what you're looking at on the screen. The systems, the mind games, the warfare that happens within interactions. You can watch the Virtua Fighter Open Championship and understand what's happening. You can hop in on a Tricky Eileen stream and know what she's talking about. You can hop in on a Chanchai stream and know what he's talking about. A Shidosha stream, or a VF number stream, or even watch streams from Japan from the likes of Homestay Akira, Master Genesis Gaming, Panchan, or my GOAT, Runner Jeffrey. I would like to thank everyone who made it to the end of the video. If you're ever in Japan around Nakano on Tuesdays, head over to the Red Bull Gaming Sphere for Tatakai Tuesdays. Usually I'm there with friends playing VF. Even if you don't play, you can just kick it. If you do play, be prepared for that Splash Mountain. But seriously, everyone, thanks, and play more VF.